Hello everyone and welcome to week 3 of Preparation Skills for University. In this weekly overview, we're going to look at the content that we're going to be covering and a few of the key points or notes or tasks that you need to be doing this week. So let's get started. So this week is all about understanding your unique learning styles and delve into your personality type. So for this week, there are actually a couple of tasks you need to do in order to be able to get your results, because these results are what you will use then to write into your Learning Portfolio A. So this module, we're going to look at your individual learning style using what we call the Solomon and Felder Learning Styles Inventory. And this is a starting point for discussion, and we'll delve into this in a lot more depth in our lecture and in your classes. So once we understand what our particular learning styles are, then we're going to look a little bit deeper into these and understand how they have impacted us in past learning experiences or even in current experiences where you might be out in the workforce. So we're going to start to link theory to life and see how we can see it played out in our own lives. The next part of this is actually looking at another profiling tool that we call the Jung typology, right? And it's a personality tester, and some of you may have already done this one in the past. So we'll go in and again, we'll do a quiz, understand what our profile tells us or what tells us about ourselves, and then we're going to delve into each of those elements. There's 4 elements there, and we want to really delve into them, find out what does it mean for us as learners. And then as a more holistic view, then we're going to think about these, both the learning styles and our personality traits, and to see, well, what works for us? What sort of strategies, so learning strategies and ways of working, ways of learning, should we try and implement that's going to support our individual preferences and what works for us? And this is generally based on both your learning style and your personality type. So there's a lot to pull away from this week, a lot to take away and a lot to action in your own student journey. Okay, let's have a look at where we need to go this week. So this week we're looking into the week 3 tab. When you go in there, don't forget to have a look at your tasks to complete for the week, right? And once you tick them off, then you know, yes, I've done this week's work. So there's a few reminders. Now, number 1 is that census date will be approaching. Now, I'm not going to tell you the date for census because I want you to problem solve, go to your academic calendar and have a look. Now, you've probably got reminders already from your access coordinators, but go and have a look and say, right, where is the census date? Now, remember, what is census? Right? It's that date where if you want to drop any units of study, do it prior to census, because after that is when you will be failed. So you'll actually receive a penalty for not completing that unit. When you go into undergrad, there's also a financial penalty. So you really want to make sure that you're aware of these census dates. Now, the other thing that I want you to be aware of this week is, in particular, in Moodle, there are resources you need to access. So there are specific quizzes we want you to do, and you need to do those quizzes because the findings from them is what will inform your LPA, so your Learning Portfolio A. So make sure you go onto Moodle and look for the resources. Now, don't forget our discussion forum. This week, we want you to talk more about what you've learned from this module. What are your learning preferences? What's your personality type? What have you learned from this? What have you recognized within yourself that, that you can put into action? So hop on the forum and share your thoughts there. Now, a reminder about the Learning Portfolio A. So that is the first assessment due. And Module 3 is the last part that you'll be adding to it. So again, remember there is a word count to work towards. So we say between 550 and 800 words for this, for the 4 questions. There are 4 responses here. So make sure you keep it within that. Now, remember, there is a due date. And again, I won't be telling you what it is. I want you to go and have a look, because sometimes different terms, we have different dates, and that has happened this year. So you need to go and have a look and check when the due date is. And just remember, Due dates are closer than they appear. You might think, oh, it's another week, or, it's another 10 days away. I've got plenty of time. But remember, there's a lot happening in between now and when that due date comes. So make sure you get onto it. Remember, if you're doing this weekly, if you're getting each of your modules done by the end of the week, you shouldn't have fallen behind. If you have fallen behind, please get yourself caught up. Talk to your support lecturer, find out what there is that you can be doing. Now, don't forget, you can apply for extensions. However, remember you need to have a relevant reason for it, okay? Otherwise, work towards that due date. And just to finish off, a quick reminder about our optional activities. Remember, we have the yoga and meditation available on Moodle that you can be doing, and our Be Positive About Your Study. So remember, about now, it tends to be the time when you start to think, oh, I've got assessments due and it's feeling a little bit overwhelming. So this Be Positive is really great. The positive psychology strategies that we teach you helps you to really reframe the way you think. It reframes that mental chatter that's going on there. So instead of being negative and knocking yourself all the time and telling yourself you can't do it, you'll actually start to think differently. Think more optimistically about your study. So it's really worth taking a little bit of time and going and watching these videos and doing the little worksheets. So guys, that's it from me this week. So get your study guide out, start reading through, doing the work, and finish off that LPA. And I'll see you next week.